I went to a meeting of the Cook County Board last week in downtown Chicago. I was there with a group of people for the public comments portion of the meeting. Before the meeting started, the board members started filing into the assembly room. They were a congenial group, warm greetings for each other, and a gentle kiss on the cheek for some. But in the gallery, it was all of us, an angry mob, all shuffling our papers and documents of grievances and petitions against them. Every board meeting starts with about 45 minutes for the public comments, and the first speaker accused them all of being communists and running a scam. Many of the other speakers were variations of the same theme. After the public comments portion, the board just went on with the business that they wanted to do. It's a perfect example of hearing one thing and then doing something else. Welcome to Conservative Coffee Hour. I'm Stanley Smith. At Conservative Coffee Hour, we've been hearing plenty for almost 3 years now from many candidates and guests. We've been in the gallery with our petitions and grievances, and we've talked to plenty of people in the arena. We think we're getting it. It's nuanced, and it takes time to understand what's going on and figuring out what our part is in all of it. Early on, we heard a lot of what seemed to be conspiracy theory, and plenty from what people consider people to be right-wing whack jobs. But most of the conspiracy stuff has kind of turned out to be true, and more people seem to be whack jobs now. I live in downtown Chicago, and many of my liberal friends they're very, very angry. It's kind of alarming. Part of what's moving the needle is really bad and poor communication and an ever-changing narrative redefining what's right and wrong. People tell me that when the racial justice stuff comes on, they just turn it off. Recently, there was a Wall Street Journal article about the removal of the Confederate stained glass windows at Washington National Cathedral. The sermon at National this Sunday was about this very topic. Marianne Buddy, the Bishop of the Archdiocese of Washington, shared a history of Reconstruction as a vehicle of white supremacists to further subjugate Black people. In a definitive book on the topic, The Unresolved Legacy of Reconstruction, Eric Foner shares that Reconstruction was advanced by radical Republicans to make Black and white people fully equal. That plan failed and was foiled because of the Democrats, setting us on a path to continue to subjugate Black people and white people for the next 90 years. Reconstruction was a good idea, and it did accomplish many good things, even in its abbreviated and subverted form. In history, we see this as a pattern. Man makes the same mistake over and over again. At Sinai, we had the golden calf. In the French Revolution, they had Napoleon. And in the Civil War, we had Reconstruction. Seems like just about every time we're about to cross over into the promised land, someone swoops in and subverts the plan for the benefit of a few at the expense of the many. It is a conspiracy theory, and it's not a new one. We've seen it played out in our time with 9/11 and the resulting Patriot Act, the housing reform of the 90s and the resulting housing collapse, and the pandemic, and now the new Green Deal. None of these are advancements. They're just different forms of grabbing more power, control, and money. Today, we hear about the Green New Deal and the carbon credit plan. These are designed to benefit those at the top, and they don't even offer the window dressing or lip service to helping or advancing those at the bottom anymore. There's a big gap between those of us in the gallery and those who have advanced themselves and ensconced themselves in the business of governing. we need to re-examine the lexicon of the word governing when it should be about representing. People who are elected to their office are there to represent us. They're not there to govern us and to decide what is best for us. This week, Senator Dianne Feinstein died. She leaves a mixed legacy. Early in her career, she was considered too conservative for her constituents. And then in her own time, rather amusing and puzzling involvement she had with the controversy involving the Confederate flag, which was nuanced and instructional. Most of the people in this country are kind, loving people, but somehow the government keeps getting in the way. We elect people to represent us, but then they get into the business of governing and deciding what is best for us. And they forget about the representing part. Eric Foner says the failed promises of the federal government reverberate today. Of course, the federal government was exactly what the Confederacy was fighting against to begin with. And that is what's reverberating with all of us still today. If you would like to join us at Conservative Coffee Hour is every Saturday at 10 a.m. Central Time on Zoom. I will include my email in the description of this video. I'll be happy to send you an invitation. And I look forward to seeing you very, very soon.